Today is January 16th. The weather is cold. We're talking Yanks.
Maybe some not Yanks.
That was an honest intro. I'm building up to get to the lie again.
Recaps galore,
Oh, there is.
weekly awards, stat lines, theme, and hot takes. Get your Yankees news from these two fine dudes. It's time for Talkin' Yanks. Talkin' Yanks with old John Boy and Jake. Talkin' Yanks with old John Boy and Jake.
Hello and welcome to Talkin' Yanks. Thank you very much for joining us today. My name is Jimmy. His name is Jake. BBD is in the corner. It's brought to you by SeatGeek, where they're celebrating the new year, and we're celebrating our amazing partnership with SeatGeek. You can now use code YANKS2025 for 10% off tickets on SeatGeek. 70,000 events listed on SeatGeek, including concerts, sports festivals, and more. I went to a play recently. Maybe the tickets were purchased on SeatGeek. They were a gift, so I'm not positive.
Okay.
But maybe. Yanks 2025 for 10% off your next set of tickets at SeatGeek. Welcome to the show where we'll be discussing the Yankees. Jake, how are you?
James Davis, everyone tuning in, we appreciate you. The other day, I went to a play to see my favorite actor. That's what people don't know.
That is good stuff.
January 16th, interesting way to find out my sister's birthday is tomorrow. Happy birthday, Renee. Your gift might be late, is what is seeming like it's going to happen.
The mail's quick these days.
Mail can be quick.
Venmo's fast.
We got a warehouse day. Bills. She got a new crib, literally and figuratively. Yeah, excited yuck some Yanks. It looks like Roki's not signing. I'm starting to lean that way, at least.
Seems like it.
I'm starting to lean that way from him saying that he's told them no. So, yeah, that pipe dream is over, and that's fine. That's fine.
Yeah.
We'll sail without him. I guess for me, it's hell yeah, girl. We don't need him unless he's real good. So, yeah, are we talking some of the other teams? You said you have some... You have an artistic vision for this episode.
Yep. This episode, I figured BBD just shouts out the topic and the category, and we give it hell for 3 minutes, and then we keep going. Because I haven't opened up my laptop.
Right.
And there's probably nothing on there.
Really good feedback on last episode, so we want to thank everyone. We appreciate that.
It was a good episode.
Expect more of it. Expect more of it.
Yeah, the January exists.
What's the word when something... polarizing. It's a polarizing episode.
Yeah. I think people like it.
Not a lot of people in the middle on last episode, which is
it's one of those
2025.
Things, it's one of those things where if there were people out there that... The people that don't like it
right.
make it funny.
Yeah, that actually makes you like it more.
Like the top 5 comments or 10 comments being like, this is so lame.
Right.
Makes me like love it. Which is, I don't know if that's good or bad, but for me...
I didn't know how many stoners we have listen. I know we have we're like 420 friendly if you roll through. Just smoke outside so the cat doesn't get sick. But I'd say the majority of the comments were like, bro, kind of high. Gotta warn me.
I've been smoking inside a lot.
It was a noon premiere on Tuesday.
Hey, live your life, live your life.
If everyone loved it, it would be so lame.
And at the end...
It would have been one and done.
At the end of this, we will review the new Avicii documentary. I'm Tim.
Is there really one coming out?
It's out.
So we're going to reveal it? Is that what you just said?
Okay, lock in.
You said we're going to reveal the new Avicii documentary?
We're going to review it. That's what people do with videos. Yeah.
Oh.
That's okay.
Damn.
I like
I
the
don't wanna
comments
do that.
calling last episode a waste of time. It's like, well, January.
Tune in to January 16th, where
up.
BBD tells us a topic and we rip on it.
Okay.
I can open my laptop. I started putting a segment together about best flash in the pan Yankees because Steven Ridings responded to a Twitter thread that we were on. Yeah. And he, not flash in the pan, sorry, that's rude. Fever Dream.
BBD put together an episode for this episode.
Fever, yeah, he's going to shout out the topics and we're going to rip on
You want me to do
them.
those topics?
Yeah.
Oh,
Okay.
That's
Should we
fine.
tell them what those topics are?
I don't know what they are.
It's the other teams in the AL.
Yes.
Yeah, I think that might be good for listeners to know.
Okay.
I think.
4 stinky teams coming
Therefore,
up.
Oh boy. Oh boy. If you're a Blue Jays
There's
fan,
more than
turn it
4
off
and they are
right
stinky.
now.
Blue Jays fans
If
are
you're a Blue
pissed,
Jays
man.
fan, turn it off
Chris
right
Rose.
now.
Chris Rose on
Stop listening to this.
Start with the Blue Jays.
Chris Rose from Baseball Today.
Sure.
He was talking to Trevor Plouffe from Talkin Baseball.
Twins, Texas Rangers, cut.
And Rose said that the Blue Jays need to blow it up. Like, dream's over. Just tank and blow it up. And someone posted that on the Toronto Blue Jays subreddit that I saw. And at the time that I checked in, people were like, yeah. Like, Blue Jays fans were like, yeah. So that sentiment seems to be like
Tune in.
they are upset with themselves.
Yeah, I mean they had a window where they had a bunch of kids whose dads were good at baseball,
That's
and then
it's ruder than me saying stinky.
they did.
It's true.
And then things they kind of made a couple bad decisions, and that team just got thin quick. And I think the division also with the rise of the Orioles and the Yankees figuring it out. One of the biggest topics in baseball is should Vladdy be traded? And yeah, I think if you're Toronto and I think if you went roster through roster in the American League East and in baseball, they have some guys in their lineup who nothing is guaranteed. I mean, it's kind of similar to the 23 Yankees that it's like, okay, Bo Bichette should bounce back and is good. Vladdy is good. We should get something out of Springer. After that,
Yeah, you got a problem with Willie Wagner at DH?
kind of. Billy Wagner's son, by the way. Not a joke.
That's not a joke.
Not a joke.
Not a joke.
What's Alejandro Kirk's dad did?
He digs. I don't know if it's for a hobby or for work.
Okay.
His name's Doug.
Like to dig.
Andres Jimenez.
Yeah, so they'll play some defense, but their
Have they
second
been-
baseman's better than their shortstop at defense, which that feels very Blue Jay.
Have they been just chasing defense in lieu of hitting for too long? The
They needed
Varsho,
like a good lefty hitter, and they keep getting lefties who can only field.
the Varsho trade, the Kiermaier trade, like they went in on defense at one point because when they traded Teoscar and
I think the big pivot point was getting rid of Teoscar, who was the most consistent threat outside of Vladdy. And Dalton Varsho was like the left-handed bat they took a chance on, that they were like, hey, if he keeps getting better, we could have a really awesome player. The only other risk there was that Arizona is a really good place to be offensively, and maybe if he doesn't get better, there's some risk there, and I think that happened. They kill outfield defense every year, that maybe they're going to try to kill infield defense. Like, their rotation still has guys there, major league guys that could put a nice season together, but offensively, it's Vladdy. Tier B is Bo and Springer, and then kind of nada.
yeah, I mean, we didn't even talk about Nathan Lukes.
We can.
His bad name.
If he's good, it's a good name.
Lucas
You have to be
Nathan.
really good.
Lucas Nathan would be a fine name.
Luke's Nukes, things like that. Luke Voigt.
Ernie
remember?
Clement's fun.
He's fun.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
The other pivot point for them is they are technically one of the 3 finalists for Sasaki, which feels like a prank to them.
I heard that news that it was Padres, Dodgers, and Blue Jays, and I'm not conjuring up some joke here. I genuinely was like, maybe they don't realize they have to tell the Blue Jays. Like they surely didn't call the Pirates.
Oh.
They didn't call the Marlins and tell them you're out. Like, I think the Blue Jays were just on that side of the list for them.
And when someone checked in, it was like, well, he didn't tell
Like,
us
I
we're
think
out.
they might have seen that headline and been like, "Oh, wait, what? Hey, Blue Jays, sorry, I didn't think we had to call."
We have not been told by Roki Sasaki that we're out.
Yeah, the
You know?
Marlins should pipe up. Guys, we also haven't been ruled out.
So
It's like they didn't want to call Canada. I don't know.
Distance fees.
That was nuts to me.
Yeah. I don't-
After the plane
no
stuff
commentary
last
to
year.
add, Yeah.
So that's the Blue Jays.
That's that.
Their pitching is nice.
And they added Jeff Hoffman
Yeah.
after he failed physicals with 2 other teams, so they finished 3rd on a free agent they signed.
Okay. See how this is starting to feel a little backhanded.
They were excited about Jeff Hoffman in some of the ways they tweeted out, and I was like, guys,
They drafted him.
they drafted him,
Yeah.
and he chose 2 other teams over
Full
them?
circle. The other teams offered him more money,
Money
and then
years.
he failed the physical.
Damn.
Yeah.
They got their guy, though.
Interesting life. Jordan Romano's gone. He was good, weird, kind of.
He was. So who's their
Him and Jeff Hoffman switched teams. It's almost like they traded.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Doesn't seem like you're too worried about the Blue Jays this year.
Nope. Not at all. I think they, in genuine talk,
Right.
they should blow it up. Like if they get to a spot where they're like, we're just in the last wild card, like we're not going to trade anyone, and they don't get prospects out of Vlad
Right.
and anyone else, that is like a mismanagement of like the time and opportunity you're in right now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So serious, I think like they don't want to play over their skis because then they might get pigeonholed into not improving the team the next couple of years.
Yeah, I think with modern day baseball, where the Blue Jays are at is if the whole team can have better energy. Bo Bichette had an awful year, and he's a part of their core and has been so consistent that if Bo bounces back, Vladdy's good. They still should make another splash in free agency. I don't know how significant. I thought Anthony Santander was going to sign there from the start. That they probably have a roll the ball out there, and if we can be a little over 500 and dream of making the playoffs, yada, 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 that's kind of every team's modern day baseball. And then if they need to trade parts at the deadline, like I think Chris Bassett is up on his free agent year. Vladdy's a haul.
Chad Green.
So I think they're probably going to roll it out, see if they can get any of the good magic of baseball. It seems doubtful within the division. They have a better chance at worse than first. That I would expect that from the Blue Jays. And hey, they're calling up a bunch of kids, and you see in baseball sometimes if you get a couple good ones, there's something there, but it's also really tough to be good and young in baseball.
They also have Kirk and Varsho, who are trade candidates at the deadline if they're like out of it.
Sure.
So them's the Blue Jays.
Burn, burn.
Who's next? Throw them at us. Oh,
Other birds.
They
Talk
changed
about the other birds.
Oh.
the Orioles. They lost Corbin Burns,
I have good news. Let's
Yeah.
keep this a little more chipper. We have so many Oriole fans that listen.
and
We actually do.
I really don't have anything against Oriole fans.
They did the best thing they could.
I like poking Blue Jays because their fans were very obnoxious for
Salty
3
and
years.
did nothing.
And Alec Manoa, like
So salty for no reason.
so salty and so angry for no reason. And they were a meme of fake
Right.
confidence.
Right.
And that like kind of crashed down. So I like poking Blue Jays. Orioles fans,
Right.
which is kind of wild because as they got good, usually as teams get good, like new fan bases swell up. I've never had an issue with Orioles fans, and I don't really hate the Orioles. at
The
any point.
rise happened fast that everyone was kind of excited. Like Baltimore had lost enough. It's a good stadium. They're here. They're young. It was just kind of their expectation year that I think their fans would have built confidence. They kind of got punched in the dick a little bit. Adley had a really weird year. The biggest thing they could do that is a huge move for them, they moved left field wall in. So that's just for everyone. Like I even think the pitchers, in a way, it's like, really? That? It's ridiculous.
It was not. It was so weird.
It's going to be a Jolly Olive video. in
It's
a couple
crazy
years.
because like this is maybe a bone to pick with the Orioles fans. They like still
Nice.
defend it.
Right.
Like, no, you lost.
Yes.
Like
it was
it's-
bad.
Ownership shit. Like we just said, no, it's too long and too high and feels ridiculously bad.
You said you were doing it to sign top-tier talent pitching. Corbin Burns is a free agent, signed with the Diamondbacks.
And they're like the short porch, Fenway. There's gimmicks. Like yeah, those improve the quality of the chaos and funness of the sport.
not more fly ball outs.
Not more fly
The
outs.
Camden homers did
Not
that.
Not
Those were
balls that you
improvements.
expect to see. Home runs are now outs. So this one is actually, Jim, you might really be on the Bird train because they signed 2 starting pitchers this free agency after losing Corbin Burns. Tomoyuki Sugano,
Yeah.
35-year-old pitcher from Japan.
I'm going to love him.
The rumor is he's Tanaka-esque.
No. Don't make me hate him.
That
I'm
would
gonna
make you love him. And they signed Charlie Morton. So, like,
Salt man.
they kind of just brought in the olds that are going to be snapping curves and not setting radar records, which I think it's just going to be interesting for Orioles culture this year. That's like a big pivot year for them. Instead of signing one pitcher for $28 million a year, they signed 2 olds, which, hey, that could pan out. We've seen the Dodgers have had a whole IL staff going into the playoffs. Like, it's been a war of attrition pitching wise that I think that's the approach they've taken. But
They
don't know.
need some olds in the lineup. The Orioles are a classic team of something that old baseball believes in. If you read any like autobiography or review on a year, this sentiment arises, but the statisticians and all that don't believe in it. Like veteran leadership, like their playoff stints have needed a calm presence. Like if they had all of a sudden Freddie Freeman came as their first baseman, or someone that's just like Bregman. Like Bregman, if I know it doesn't fit, someone that's been through long playoff runs, they kind of need, because they're so young and fun, but all rookies talk about how they needed a veteran to like, hey, this is how you go through a winning, like this is how you stay cool, and this is how you tackle the playoffs, because they just kind of been to playoffs come, and it's like they don't have that calm that you kind of need.
I mean, they're also in those. They're in the 3-game wild cards, right? That one thing goes wrong.
Yeah, but
you're done.
But they've been like I forget this year.
They haven't hit.
Yeah,
they haven't hit.
It's been like nothing.
They've gone behind and they just feel the pressure.
Exactly. Yeah.
And they lost Corbin Burns, and that has not been replaced. Again, they've added some depth, and they've lost Santander currently, who hit 44 homers for them. They replaced him with Tyler O'Neill, who was very good for the Sox, but it's also green monster, righty pull hitter.
He's gonna kill the Yankees. That's just how that works.
That's fine.
He's gonna go through all the teams and kill the Yankees.
What about Gary Sanchez?
Hey now.
I will say,
Man, I like a lot of the Orioles.
I think the Orioles are going to be good next year. I think it's just going to be a matter of, I think they're built for the regular season. I think they have some rotational depth. I think Adley's going to bounce back. I think the other thing they get such a part of their team's identity and rise, which, dude, we should tell Jolly to do a video on this. Dude, Bautista. They didn't have him for all of last year. Like, he was the closer. He was the mountain. He's like, he was the attraction. Like, come all, if we win, you get to see this. They didn't have that last year. They had Kimbrel, who they ended up releasing. So that with Kittredge, Yannier Cano, I really like their bullpen. I think they're going to be a really strong regular season team next year.
What about the postseason?
What about it?
You think they're not going to be really strong there?
It would depend what they do at the deadline. Because I think
They're going to be good.
Their
And I'm going to
lineup-
grow to hate them.
I think their
I hope.
lineup is going to need another signature bat.
You look at their names: Gunnar Henderson,
Incredible.
Colton Cowser,
Solid.
Ryan Mountcastle,
Solid.
Cedric Mullins,
Solid.
Jackson Holiday.
Don't know.
That's a good name.
Yeah.
I'm not talking about the players.
It feels like they're all in the same name bucket.
They all like.
Yeah.
The Blue Jays names were like. Ugh.
It's tough to look at.
Yeah, they like these
really
look
tough
like
to look
characters
at.
of a sci-fi movie I don't want to watch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we're not talking about the people or the players, like literally just the names.
There was a second, and now it's gone.
All right, let's move on.
After this.
Today's episode is sponsored by Built. PSA for anyone who rents. If you haven't heard of Built, you're about to thank me. Earning points on rent is now a reality when you pay your rent through Built. You don't even have to check with your landlord to start earning points that you can use toward flights, hotel stays, fitness classes, and even your next rent payment. Let me break it down. There's no cost to join Built. Good. And as a member, you'll earn valuable points on your rent and your everyday spending. 500 airlines, 700,000 hotels. My goodness. Properties around the world you can redeem your Built points toward. You can also redeem towards future rent payments and unique experiences only Built members can access. Start earning points on rent you're already paying by going to joinbuilt.com/Yanks. That's joinbuilt, BILT.com/Yanks. Make sure you use our URL so they know we sent you. Joinbuilt.com/Yanks. Start earning points on your rent payments today.
Next up, as we make our way around the American League East, recapping what each team has done and how we as Yankee fans feel about it. The Red Sox have signed Walker Buehler.
You like him.
They traded Mickey Gasper to the Twins for Giovanni Moran.
Yep. Good arm.
Tanner Houck, 1-year deal, voids arbitration. Cutter Crawford, avoiding arbitration. Garrett Crochet, they got.
Yeah.
Bobby Stock, minor league deal. Hey,
Yeah.
way to go.
I think new arm angle.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'll tweet the 4 years apart on these.
Anyway, the Red Sox are going to be good, and I'm a little scared of them.
They lost Tyler O'Neill.
Yep. They'll replace him with any pull old righty.
The Red Sox are good. It's going to be interesting to see their next move. It feels like they're going to add one bat, and it's just how significant. Is it Bregman? Is it Nolan Arenado? Is it not someone of that ilk? But right now, Duran, Devers, and Casas at the top of that lineup is really strong, all lefty. The only righty in their top 6 right now, I think, is Trevor Story, who it's been a minute since he's put together a full season. So
It's too many lefties for Fenway.
it's a lot of lefties. So, I don't think they are done, and I think that's actually the scary part because they've had a nice offseason. They finally addressed their pitching, man. I mean, feels like it's been 3 years. It's like, well, if the Red Sox had some arms, and they finally did. Crochet is nasty. Walker Buehler on 1 year pitching for the Red Sox. Like, feels bad for Yankee fans.
That's a little bit where I'm going, and I don't know if it's what you're saying, but it feels like they're finally building a Red Sox team in my eyes, and like people that I think are going to outgrit or can like out moxie the Yankees.
Sure.
So a lot of the rotation scares me. Not like in general. I wouldn't say I think they're gonna like be a Cy Young contender. I think they're gonna be awesome to everyone. They can.
Right.
I'm saying specifically against the Yankees, guys that I'm like fuck. And then hitting wise, they need more righties, but they were a top offense last year. And Fenway helps there, but they also were a top offense. I think the second half they were like one of the best offenses in the league.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see. They have some top prospects that are on the cusp for this year. So if they get the call, is that huge? Are they going to use them as capital during the season? The Red Sox have put their they've put their chips on the table. They made changes in the front office. They've made ads. I think the fan base ended up just absolutely in a 6th spot. Like, what? We're not really competing right now. We're the Red Sox. And it feels like they've gone the other way, and it feels like there's going to be another move that feels like you're going to be seeing a lot of Cora, seeing a lot of Devers. And yeah, I think the Red Sox can really pitch. They've got it's Liam Hendricks and Chapman on the back end.
Oh, I hate the Chapman move for the Yankees.
Yeah. He's going to be excited. Watch your wrists.
Damn, dude.
Yeah.
And Gary's on the Orioles?
Yeah.
Let's trade for him.
What was that?
I don't know. Him and Wellesley, a platoon.
What was that, Max?
I love Gary. Tanaka pitching to Gary.
Oh, boy. Here we go. No cameras below the desk, please.
I mean, I just need to. Where do I feel that again?
Below the desk.
Weaver to Wells. I like Weaver.
You're very into Weaver.
Tanaka and Gary was like special.
Yeah.
If he and
Mound
Serrano make a
visits?
connection.
Nobody knows, man.
Yeah.
Birdie would check on those mound visits and just walk away being like, they're not. Nothing's saying anything.
Right.
They just looked at each other.
Yeah, it's kind of when you hear about people that have alien interactions, and they're like, no, we didn't exchange words, but we exchanged visions, like energies.
Yes.
That's kind of what happened. And Greg Bird didn't feel any of that and was very confused.
Yeah, he watched it.
Why aren't you talking?
Yeah, from a third party. It was just like, See the Dodgers making fun of Rizzo for his mound visits in the podcast where they did a group podcast. It was Mookie's, but all of
the
them were on
group.
there. The group. And they were, I don't know in what sense they were making fun of it. Because at first I thought maybe he was trying to give signals. I think they just thought he was doing too much and that there's no way Cole was enjoying that. But it was like, damn, man.
They're the champs, and they were bopping.
Yeah.
They said we were going to mess up. We messed up.
They were the champs, and they were bopping.
Red Sox are good.
Yeah.
Red Sox are going to be one of the best teams in the American League.
Yeah, I think so. I'm worried about the Red Sox.
Yes, correctly.
I think the Yankees are a better team. But that's the thing. I think the Yankees are a better team. But they're putting together a collection of guys that I'm like, those guys could just have our number.
Yeah, I guess the thing is,
any given year.
baseball happens every year.
Like I saw Chapman, and
That's
I
a
was
quote.
like, he's gonna shove it up our bum.
Gonna at least be good in the games against us.
That's a Bart Giamatti quote. Baseball happens every year.
Earlier you quoted Christopher Walken from
Wedding Crashers.
Wedding Crashers.
I think the two most talented teams in the American League right now are the Yankees and the Red Sox. And I guess if you just say that sentence and know in any year baseball can happen, this is the Red Sox could win the division, and that hasn't been on the table.
We're the Guardians, and we're mad at you, Jake.
Are they, though?
I don't know.
Are they?
They traded away some guys.
Naylor gone.
I think he's pretty, yeah. I think his offensive profile is too boom or bust. I wouldn't want Naylor. But I like his energy. He seemed to be the whole energy, and his brother's sad.
Guardians to Diamondbacks is perfect for Josh
Jimenez?
Naylor. He's on the Blue Jays now.
I know.
Yeah.
He's good.
Kind of. Contract gets crazy
I know, but
ugly.
inning-changing defense.
Yeah.
And we saw him at the airport once.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
But, Tigers.
So no Rays for you.
The Rays aren't going to be a top team in the AL, in my opinion. I have something to say.
Say it, baby. Say it.
I don't give a fuck about the Rays, man.
Okay.
Not in a cocky that I think they're bad way, or not in a happy because I think they're bad, or in a this because I think this, or just in literally they have the revolving door of names.
Yeah.
Got to a point where I said, I'm not inputting this anymore.
Yeah.
Like in Band of Brothers, it got to a point where they didn't want to learn the replacements' names because they just didn't want to form another connection that would then hurt when they died in battle. And that's how I feel with the Rays. Is I don't care. I didn't know anyone last year on the Rays really, besides Yandy.
You know Yandy.
And Randy.
He's gone. You know Brandon Lau.
I know Brandon Lau.
Josh Lowe.
I'm not
Like half.
Yeah,
You knew there was another
I know
Lowe.
him. I'm not familiar with
I'll
him.
tell you who they got. Who you know?
Who?
Danny Jansen doing his AL East tour.
Okay.
He hits homers off Cole. They traded for Christopher Morel. Some good Rays punk stuff there. Taylor Walls, your guy, is still there.
Those
Fast.
are series out, though.
Rortvet, Caballero, Palacios.
Yeah, I don't
It's Rays. It's
when
Rays.
when I say I don't know them, I don't.
Yeah.
When they step into the box, I'm not like, don't throw this pitch
Right.
here. He might do that there. That's he's really good in this situation. I don't know.
I do think they just went through a pitcher injury cycle like they tend to do.
Well,
That
it's their
McClanahan is back, Boz is back. Currently, they list 6 starting pitchers for the Rays. Is like, whoa.
Yeah, 3 will make it to May.
Right. Mike Vassell listed as their long man currently.
They're just stars is dimming as an organization. They're not even in the Trop anymore, which is the whole poll.
I think I agree with you. I would take it a step back, and I would just say this is the pivot year for the Rays. Like, if the Rays start winning and being the Rays again, it's like, okay.
But I'm not saying that I think they're not going to be competitive. I'm saying it's not worthwhile.
I think if they're competitive and good, it's worthwhile, and the Rays are back to being the Rays. Like, they kind of haven't been for a couple years. They've been a little irrelevant.
Yeah, and I don't have anyone that's going to be... Who's going to be the next, like, ARB for this guy's getting traded because he's a stud? Like, the next Glasnow, the next Blake Snell. I'm not sure who that
Junior Caminero is supposed to be their next guy. So he got called up at the end of last year. He's their only, like, dude potential breakout. If the Lows are healthy, they weren't last year on offense. And then, I mean, the next guy who's already on that path is McClanahan because he's been good. And
is he hurt last year?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So they're getting some bodies back.
I'm over it.
But they're like,
I am
gonna
too.
trade Yandy and Lau.
I'd say this is a pivot year for them. This is either like, okay, the Rays are back on their bullshit, here we go, or it's like, wow, you guys really haven't been in the mix.
It all fades, man. The people loved Oakland A's at one point because they were Moneyball.
Right.
And then that shine wears off and you're like, oh, you're just a cheap team doing cheap stuff?
Yeah, they had a good cycle though. Like, they would cycle and it'd be like 3 years good, 3 years bad. 3 years good, yeah.
Yeah.
Like, the Rays, we kind of don't have their pet. They were so solid for a little while.
Yeah, but
it was
once the allure wears off, you are like, oh,
right.
You are just like the A's, but in Tampa. You don't spend, you purposely plan around not spending.
Yes. Maybe their outdoor year is huge.
Yankees will be playing at their second home.
A lot early, right?
At least one series in April.
Didn't they get all their games moved up?
They did like schedule trades with some teams to get like their outside games not to be in the Florida heat in July, August. So they have some
the Rays have a lot of home games.
Isn't that where our minor leaguers play?
The Rays have a lot of home games to start the year and end the year. They're trying to dodge the summer rains.
So they have like
summer rains.
They have like 45. I'm making up numbers, but like 45 of their first 60 games are at home. It's some number like that.
It's gonna be.
Then they're like road dogs all summer.
Biggest year in Rays franchise history. I'll say it.
Is their schedule up to date? I might open my laptop if I can find that.
It's up to date.
If it's on the public forums,
I think it's up to
their
date.
Their MLB.com schedule should reflect what they've got going on.
Well, let me get in here.
Here we go.
You're going to like that.
You're going to like the way you look.
BBD's saying road dogs all summer. They're going to either galvanize or fall apart.
They traded the Twins July 4th.
Wow.
Crazy.
So Twins get a home July 4th game.
What?
Oh, giving birth behind you.
Oh my God, that's
Don't
in
turn
shot
around.
too.
It doesn't matter. I'm looking at schedules.
Don't turn around. This is actually probably a great opportunity that, as I just said, this is a big year for the Rays. Massive year for Joe's McFly. He's kind of been threatening around the office. He's like, Soto's a Met, Lindor's a Met. If they get Vladdy, I might be a Mets guy. We've had to talk him out of it a little bit. But I don't know. I guess hope the Blue Jays are in it so the Mets don't trade for Vladdy.
They won't. But that'd suck for Joe's.
Yeah. So you're currently looking at the Rays schedule?
Dodgers have to go there in August.
Okay.
For just a quick 3-game hitter, and then they're on the road again. Yeah, they're on the road a lot. It's true. A lot of off days in August for them. I guess they're planning for the rains.
Yeah, build some rain space.
So that's the AL, man.
That's the East.
East.
Well,
There's 2 teams in the West we should talk about after this.
Football fans, it is playoff time. We've got some exciting games to look forward to, and you can get in on all the playoff action right now with our partners at the DraftKings Sportsbook.
Mustard on the
Right now, they're offering all new customers $200 in bonus bets instantly after betting just $5 when you use code YANKS.
Blup, blup, blup.
Do you love the thrill of live betting? DraftKings has you covered. Bet live on in-progress matches as they happen, making watching the game that much more exciting. So download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now and use code YANKS. Bet just $5 on any wager and get 200 in bonus bets instantly. That's code YANKS. Only at DraftKings Sportsbook. The crown is yours. How many people do you think said YANKS with me at home? I said, that's code YANKS.
30.
All Jeffs. As mentioned, there's two other teams worth talking about, Beeps.
Currently.
The Rangers, I think, are worth talking about. Is that one of them?
They're one of the two I'm talking about.
Because I believe in World Series hangover. They went to the World Series. They had some slow starts. They had some injuries. The offense was not there.
Correct.
But the talent is still there.
Yeah, they Simeon and Seager, tough to live up to the previous years. The other thing, I mean, they were banking on Wyatt Langford and Evan Carter, two young studs, but they took their lumps and also had injuries along the way. That their lineup was never cohesive. Injuries along the pitching staff that they never got the good juice after coming off a World Series year. So. Texas, they've made a few moves. I love Jock Peterson for them. Traded out your guy Nathaniel Lowe, unfortunately, but their lineup's good. Like,
their numbers like to end the year are pretty good as an offense.
It was just never at the same time.
Never firing on all of their cylinders at the same time.
Like Wyatt Langford, the rookie for them, really figured it out down the stretch. And it was kind of too little too late for them. So I think the Rangers are going to be one of the best teams in the American League.
Okay, that's 3.
Yeah.
What about the Orioles?
Yeah. I mean, I would have...
So that's your top 4. Guardians not in top 4.
I would say the top 5 talented teams in the American League are Yankees, Red Sox, Orioles, and then Texas, and then I believe if Houston finishes their offseason, because they have a couple spots in their outfield, and there's still a couple outfielders left that I think a Santander or Profar is a really good fit for Houston. And then their lineup is back to being their lineup, and I still believe in their pitching factory of sorts that Houston's going to be good.
Okay.
Those would be my top 5 talented teams.
And if I'm... Vinny Pasquantino, I get to punch you in the face. You hate
that's fine.
You hate the Royals?
I mean, it worked for them last year. Why would I
They got a leadoff hitter.
I change my tone on them?
They got India. They needed someone like that in the lineup.
The Royals can be very good.
Okay.
The Royals can be very good. Let's see what it looks like. You know,
got some pitchers still. Colorado.
Yeah. They can win the Central.
Seth Luga.
I think people are holding out hope that one of the hitters' price point drops, like a Santander or something. They're desperate for
Bring in
outfield
Pete.
offense.
They're a baseball town.
Might as well.
Ah, shit, man. The Central's crazy.
Central's crazy.
Central's a little crazy. Always has been.
Are the Twins... What are the Twins?
They're a little sad.
Are they going for it, or have they pulled back?
Oh, Twins are like out, dude. They're out of money. They don't know what they're doing with their TV stuff, so they're like...
Yeah, because they're not... Okay.
Yeah.
Like, people are thinking they're going to have, like, one more, like, money-shedding move this offseason that'll kind of be that.
And the Tigers are... They got some talent. In Tariq Skubal.
And they should be on the rise.
What was that? Say that sentence again.
That was a good sentence.
Say that sentence one more time.
I said they've got some talent in Tariq Skubal. He's good. You disagree?
He's really good. Very talented.
Cy Young.
Gleyber Torres over there.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Riley Green's good.
Central going Central.
It is.
That's it till it's not.
I mean, the White Sox. Hey, what have the White Sox done?
They're still like going backwards.
On purpose?
Like I think this is the year that like some real prospects get a shot in some. Colson Montgomery, you know.
They lost Jacob Amaya off
waivers.
waivers to the Orioles today.
And technically off labor.
You didn't know that.
I didn't know that.
Happened
I didn't know
today.
that. You know, I think they've got one of the Caro guys, might call him up this year.
They signed Josh Rojas.
They're still hopeless.
They lost Braden Shoemake off waivers as well.
Yeah. Utility infielder.
Bobby Dahlbeck there.
Atlanta.
They're going to give the rest of the Central a lot of wins again.
I think so.
And the Twins are going to give them a lot of wins. So the
We'll see. Twins could
are,
still
like,
be like
competing.
500.
Or the Guardians and the Royals could have an even grander
Grandeur.
sense of good.
Yeah.
If the other like 4 Central teams each like take care of their business against the White Sox, they will be like convincing themselves.
But honestly, that
Right.
sucks
For the current playoff format.
for the current playoff
2
format.
Central teams probably get in.
Yeah, that sucks. That's bad news for us.
Yeah. Well, it's
Or
kind of
good
good
news.
news for us, yeah, if we make it.
If we have you make it, that is good news. And I think the Yanks will be in. They're good.
Should be in.
In theory, the Yankees should be winning their division and not worrying about them taking one of those wild card spots, but season will happen.
It's a little nuts, man. They gave the Royals 12 wins.
Right.
Do you know the difference in
Okay.
standings? If, like, say normally it's 6
Right.
or 7,
Even
85 team
5 or 6 wins.
to a 91 win team.
Yeah.
And they also gave the Twins 12 wins.
Yeah.
And they gave the Tigers 10 wins.
Right.
2 of those teams, again, especially if the Twins take a step back,
Right.
maybe they all take a step back and the Royals are going to be best record in the American League.
Yeah, I think if the Tigers have some hope this year, Royals have hope this year, Guardians have hope this year. If those teams all play each other in a somewhat fair manner, the Central should balance itself out a little bit. Even the Twins, like the Twins are still in an area code with those teams. If the Twins have a good baseball summer, they're
What was
not a
the-
walkover.
What
team.
was the Twins' record last year? Let me see.
500?
They won 82 games
That's wrong.
and they got 12 wins from the White Sox.
Right.
So in a normal year when the White Sox aren't the worst team in the history
History of
of
baseball.
Major League Baseball, we're saying that this
76
76 win White Sox Twins team wasn't good. The whole thing's a fucking illusion because
A little bit.
it's the worst team in the history of the
sport.
sport, and you got to play them more than other teams.
Think of the worst team you've seen.
As I was
Like
gonna
that's
say,
something my grandpa, if we meet in the next life, I get to say, as of now,
Right.
I've seen worse baseball team than you.
Right.
And he saw a lot of baseball.
It's pretty sick.
It's pretty sick, yeah.
Yeah. So,
Like some old head,
sure.
you know, Ken Burns guy documentary
Yeah.
comes up to us. Oh, you want to talk about bad teams? You should have seen the White Stockings in 1918.
Baseball in the
They were
early
cheaters.
20s with the podcast generation. They saw some of the highs of baseball, but they also got to see the low. The 2024 Chicago White Sox, the worst record in baseball history.
No fan of any team in the history of the sport suffered more losses than the 2024 Chicago White Sox.
Yeah, I don't really know what's going on with them. I kind of watch the Yankees, but the White Sox, they're bad.
I wasn't even thinking about them until he said, honey, you see this White Sox record? And then I started thinking about them. I said, that's sad. Back after this. Astros are worse. They got rid of Tucker. Bregman isn't coming back.
Correct.
They
They're
traded
different.
Tucker for their
They got
Bregman
Walker.
replacement.
He might
They got
like that.
Walker.
He might like that. They still have talent.
They got Isak,
They're still the Astros.
and I think
but
they're gonna add another outfielder.
Who?
Santander Profar.
they can sign somebody to hide in that left field.
Okay.
They don't have to prioritize defense with it or anything.
This is a lesson in procrastination. All right. Hopefully that we get some more stuff to talk about or chew on. Otherwise, we'll just go Yanks. Tell them, Grams.
Go Yankees.
Which George?
Steinbrenner. It'll be in good taste. It'll be in good taste.